Hey everybody, it is Daniel and Tiffany here, back again from the Wish You Were Beer show. Thank you for swinging by and hanging out with us this Thursday evening. If you're unfamiliar with us, this is a live beer review show that we do every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we feature a new beer every week from a new brewery. We always try to get the breweries involved and to come hang out with us and talk about their own beers and their own brand. So if that's something that interests you, please do me a favor. Go down to the About section. Make sure that you do all the dumb shit that teenagers ask you to do on their pages. Please like
and subscribe.
Please like and subscribe. Right. So make sure you follow along with us. If you like and subscribe here on the YouTube page, that would be great. But you can also follow all of our social medias, which are listed down on the banner at the bottom of the screen. And you can also go to our website, which is at the top of the screen, wishyowerebeershow.com.
Weather woman.
Yeah, because I went the wrong way.
Yeah.
But that's probably the easiest way to find the catalog of our episodes. We try to keep a running schedule of beers we're going to have in the future. We try to keep some merch in there as well.
A lot of cool merch.
We've got a ridiculous merch site of shirts that Phil has made that he thought was funny, that are for purchase.
Yep.
Phil's not here tonight, so I can say that about him. Yes. Got a jab in on Phil.
Oh, good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
If you're familiar with the show, Phil is normally with us as well. And then our good friend Ware, who does a lot of behind the scenes work for us, is normally in the chat yelling at everyone in a foreign language.
Nope.
What?
No.
Yeah, pretty consistently.
No, that's just an accent.
Oh, that makes sense. That's better.
Silly.
Ooh. So they're normally with us as well, but they are actually traveling currently, so they're not going to be able to be on the show tonight. So unfortunately, you get just Tiffany and I again.
Yay.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what Phil does while I run my mouth. It's going to be a disaster.
I will say, unlike one of the first times that we were left to our own devices and we forgot to hit go live.
True story.
Or no, Phil was there.
Was he?
It doesn't matter. This occurred at one point in time.
Yeah.
And this time we started a little bit early, but it said starting now, literally at 8 o'clock. So we're going to make up for it somehow. It may be an accident, but here we are.
I don't know how to make up for it. If you are unfamiliar with the show, again, as always, I am Daniel. This is Tiffany.
Hello.
And we are here to hang out with y'all evening. I really do appreciate everybody stopping by. It's the craziest thing to me on this show that people hang out with us and talk beer and want to.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume want to drink beer. I think that's really the end goal.
I just think it's either Netflix or us, and we may be just slightly more entertaining.
And we're slightly more chill.
Yeah, or just entertaining.
Right. Yeah.
Because this is totally
Well, you can't learn
scripted.
anything on Netflix. Because that's all scripted reality. But here, there is no script.
Oh, I was under the impression that this was scripted, and I memorized a script.
Tiffany spends a lot of time throughout the day on Thursday playing things out in her head. So I assume she has an internal script as to how she thought this show was going to go.
Yeah, it never does.
But right before we went live, I yelled at the top of my lungs.
You did.
Just to throw her off guard right as we came in live. So again, you can hope and wish for the best, but
I will say that usually when we start the show and we're both giggling, Daniel has done some sort of dumb shit, and I then am laughing as we open the show. So if you watch even just the first 30 seconds of every show, it's probably me laughing.
True story.
So it's not just today with the yelling.
It's every day. And like Andy said, Andy, as always, thank you for stopping by as well.
And Lauren, we got both.
Yeah,
of them.
and Lauren, both of you together. That's a dangerous chat room. But yes, we are excited. We took advantage of Phil and Vero being out of town to reach out to some of our favorite local folks and try to get them on the show. So if you watched the episode last week, we had 1700 on who's close by us. And this week we're going to be doing a beer from Gloucester Brewing Company, which holds a special place in my heart. I lived in Gloucester for close to a decade, and they started a brewery there right as I moved out. So perfect.
I mean, you can move back.
Well, I don't know.
I'm not moving.
No, but I'm excited to have some local breweries involved as well. If you follow along with us throughout our social medias, we all post different things from wherever we're at and different beers we're having. And Tiffany and I spend a lot of time in the local area, so it's always fun. It's always fun to have people that we know on the show, venues that we're familiar with or places that we love to go. It creates a little bit of a more special interaction for me personally.
Yeah.
I know you don't care.
It's a whole vibe.
Oh, Jesus.
No cap.
It's a whole vibe. No cap.
Totally off subject. Which again, unscripted. A colleague of mine literally messaged me today and was like, I heard no cap on a KFC commercial. Because I said it in an additional like chat somewhere else, and then I had to explain myself.
Okay. To an older colleague.
I mean, I think they're all our age, but we just happened to figure this out earlier than everyone.
This is
true. We're really cool.
No, I just like I just historically like to take things that are popular with a younger generation and just
ruin them.
Overuse them with said younger generation, so that they now go, well, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And I'm like, well, 6 months ago when I wasn't beating a dead horse, you seem to really like it.
I heard it was, there's a PETA saying for beat a dead horse, and I can't remember.
Oh, God, it's probably like...
Feed 2 horses, I think is what it is.
Feed 2 horses is a weird Pornhub channel, and I don't think PETA realizes that.
This is the second time PETA has come up this week.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah.
Well, they got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
Like every week for PETA. Again, that being said, I'm excited to have Gloucester Brewing Company on tonight, and we were lucky enough to reach out to Mike, who's a good friend of ours, and he was willing to come on the show despite he's an extremely busy guy, which is good for business and good for beer. So I'm happy that he's busy with some regularity, but at the same time was kind enough to come by the show. So because we are down a person on the show, we don't have to spend as much time catching up with each other.
Oh, I was having a great time, but you're right. We should probably move forward.
It's the worst. Yeah, let's. I'm excited to have Mike on the show, and again, Phil is out of town, so some of our video production skills that obviously both of us lack have gone to the wayside.
I just keep forgetting that it's even a thing we need to do until it's the time to do it.
If you've seen our OnlyFans, you know our video production is low, but our quality is high.
It's literally just fans, like ceiling fans, box fans, oscillating fans.
What's up, Marcus? Thanks for stopping by.
Little tiny desk fans.
Little tiny desk fans.
The personal hold fans. The hat fans. I can keep going.
Yeah, I think we're good. So that being said, like I said, we're having Mike Brewer on the show tonight from Gloucester Brewing. I'm excited about it. Mike's a good friend of ours, and I'm going to bring him in right now so we can chat with him. What's up, Mike?
Hello.
What's going on? Appreciate y'all having me on.
You know. Yeah.
Of course.
Could be worse.
Yeah.
I assume you could be in bed by now.
Pretty close. Usually once the wife and I get the kid down for the night, we're gearing up around 8:30, 9 o'clock to try and be up at 6 a.m. with the kid.
Speaking my language.
Yeah.
No younger kids involved, but that's about my same sleep schedule. So.
I mean, we're just grateful that she's consistent.
That is nice.
Key.
Fair. Yeah. So, Mike, let's talk a little bit about Gloucester Brewing and about you specifically. Yeah. Will you give me your role in Gloucester Brewing? What is your actual title there?
So, I recently transitioned from.
Oh, congratulations! You had a Bud Light. No takers.
I didn't realize we were going there so early.
Yeah, man. We started drinking prior to the show, per usual.
Cheers.
No, but so you recently changed roles in the company, which is
yeah.
good.
So my job title originally, my dad loves to have fun, and of course, it's always fun hearing a almost 32-year-old talk about my dad. But so my dad and our good family friend Myron, Ware, they're the 2 owners, and they love to have a good time. So being in the beer industry is great. Well, my original job title was actually the manager of fluid operations. So I was the mofo.
You know what's funny is I saw that title multiple times and I never put mofo into that.
Yeah.
God, that's perfect.
It got to the point where it was a little weird when I was sending professional emails, like making orders and signing off as mofo. I was like,
this mofo.
I don't mind it, but so at the end of last year, I have transitioned into the role of head brewer. So I am responsible for all things beer, all things production at GBC right now.
Nice.
So not just fluid operations.
I actually,
Yeah.
well, and I apologize. I actually did not realize that. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, man.
That's fantastic.
That.
Yeah.
Did we not?
It's a lot of fun.
No.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Congrats. I thought we knew this, but I've been wrong
Well,
before.
So typically when we see each other, there's usually beer involved. So there's a good chance it came up in conversation and then went down the beer wayside.
And sometimes there's a Curtis involved too, so that's always a distraction.
Correct.
Sweet
If you
Curtis.
see me and one and or two of my brothers in the same room, there's a good chance nothing will be remembered.
Yeah, and if there's you and three, it is someone's gonna get injured.
I have never had a bad time with a car. That's all I can say.
Thank you. There's some other sayings that would beg differently, but yes. So now I know we talked before the show a little bit. I know you guys, y'all actually kicked the Kolsch that we're having on the show tonight. So what are you drinking now?
Yeah. So today I am enjoying our Pilsner. It's a more of a Bohemian style or a Czech premium pale lager, to be more specific. So it's definitely more Pilsner or Kel than a traditional Radeberger or Bitburger type German Pils. You still get that nice complexity of hops from the balance of herb and spice, but you're getting a little bit more of that malt complexity that's balancing everything else out. So you're getting a little bit more of that bread, subtle toast, and maybe just a touch of caramel, but you're still letting the hops play a prominent role in the final flavor.
Which is good for a Pilsner. Yeah.
Still finishing super clean, but it's not quite as light in body and grainy as a traditional German Pils.
Do you know what the ABV is on it off the top of your head?
Yeah, it is 5.7.
5.7. So you can have 6-7 of those.
Oh. So
it's definitely one of those. It came out at the appropriate time. I mean, what was it, like almost 80 degrees today?
Correct. Yeah. Good
no.
Lord.
I was gonna say I'm drinking a Goza in honor of the weather that was today, even though I didn't get to enjoy a lot of it.
Sure.
But I got to see it from the window.
Yeah, so today for our Mug Club members, we released the Pilsner as well as a brand new hazy IPA.
Nice. You know, I'm a sucker for a hazy IPA.
Yeah, it's a classic combo. Simcoe, Mosaic, and Citra. Can't go wrong.
Right, true story.
But
all right.
it is sad to be out of the Kolsch.
Well, good news. I have a giant crowler of it that we're going to be enjoying here shortly.
Wait.
I'm on my way.
Are you going to be redoing the Kolsch? Is that going to be
the Kolsch is a staple.
Right, that's what I thought it was, but I just wanted to validate. I feel like I've seen it there.
So my wife actually threatened to divorce me, and this should have been one of your trivia questions. My wife threatened to divorce me if I didn't have the Kolsch on tap by the time that our daughter was born, because she had witnessed all of her favorite beers that we have ever made. She witnessed all of them on tap throughout her pregnancy.
Yep.
So I figured the least I could do was make sure that it was on tap in January of last year.
I love it.
Thankfully, we had a couple of crowlers waiting in the fridge when we got home from the hospital.
Even better.
That's fantastic, man. All right. So, he mentioned trivia.
Yeah. So, history and facts, I think, is what we're calling it these days.
What are we calling it?
History and facts?
like it.
All right. So if you're familiar with the show or if you're not familiar with the show, this is a portion of it where we're going to do a little bit of history and facts. It's kind of morphed into trivia. So if you're logged in through YouTube, obviously you can comment along. But also if you're logged in through Facebook or Twitter, you can also comment along. So as we play trivia, please feel free to give us your answers so I can laugh at you and tell you you're wrong. And I wrote trivia. There's a good chance I may miss two of them still at this point in the evening. So please play along. It's a safe place. And tonight, again, we are drinking a beer from Gloucester Brewing Company out of Gloucester, Virginia. And we are doing their Kölman Kölsch. And luckily, Mike was nice enough to join and hang out.
Happy to do it.
I appreciate it, man. So, all right, well, let's get into trivia.
Oh yeah, I can do this one.
We're going to roll question 1 as soon as Tiffany... There we go.
I got it.
All right. So, Gloucester Brewing Company uses what type of boat as part of their logo? Which, again, it's on the can, it's on the hat, it's all over the place. So, Gloucester Brewing Company uses what type of boat? A head boat, a dead rise boat, a dinghy boat, or a cuddy cabin boat? And again, I wrote trivia, but I also somewhat grew up in this area, so this was a gimme for me, but I thought maybe it might be... I did use it, like a couple of things that I read about this answer I did not know, which was interesting.
It is a dead rice boat, right?
Do you know that? I mean, you can't answer for me.
I thought this was a great question.
Yeah.
I am not a small boater.
Excuse me?
So
there's a motorboat joke in here somewhere, and I don't know how to get it in there.
Yeah, it's fine. I think you just did. But yeah, I'm going with a B, and I feel like I should know this.
You 100% should know this.
And I may be wrong based on your current attitude.
No. You should just 100% know this with full confidence. There should be no question here.
Cool.
I trust him, Tiff.
Yeah. What do you need me to do?
Can you pull the slide down?
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you want to answer it so we know?
Yeah, I want Mike to answer it. He knows the answer.
Oh, you want me to answer it?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Well, yeah, it is in fact a dead rise.
Thank goodness.
One of the most common boats here in Gloucester County. It's used by watermen across the board. That is a staple here in Gloucester, the dead rise boat.
Correct. And I didn't find out, I didn't know that it was the official boat of the state of Virginia.
I did know that.
Oh, no way.
I swear to God. Yeah, like I was like, what?
Well, because it's
I was like, I knew we had a bird and a butterfly and an insect, but
you guys have the
we have
Chesapeake
great
Bay, and so with the
and
Chesapeake
crabbing.
Bay, this is with all the tributaries. Like
Correct.
this is, yeah, I did know that.
That's
Okay.
incredible.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So look at you making
that was a weird one for me.
Logos.
And then
Kudos.
I love trivia.
I didn't realize the actual like angular measurement points that makes that boat what it is. Because you can call a dead rise boat because it comes to the like tip of the bow and then flattens out in the back like a fishing boat. But there's an actual fucking measurement that classifies it as a dead rise boat. And I was like, oh, that's very specific. Like there was like a third in there somewhere. And I was,
oh yeah, it's wild. And the fact that this boat has been produced for so long. I mean, we have pictures that were donated at the brewery. We have them sitting up in various locations, and there are people that are building a dead rise boat. And I believe the time frame for it is 1931 is like the time frame for the picture.
That's the one in the left-hand bathroom. But yes,
yep.
Correct.
I know. I've looked at it multiple times. I'm always like,
I use that bathroom.
Yep, I've used that bathroom before.
Yeah, that picture. Man, December 31st, 1938 or something like that.
Yeah, and I do love that about the facility in general that you guys have, which we'll get into a question about the building later, but just being in the part of Gloucester that you're in, the ties to the waterman town, and a lot of that is recognized throughout the building and throughout the brand. It's super cool to me because I grew up playing around on the water, and it's nice to see that somewhat start to pop up in a beer industry, which is now where I spend most of my time.
Yeah, we went sailing.
That's not a place to be.
That's why I didn't know.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, we're just incredibly fortunate with the clientele that we have because there are so many people that have been in Gloucester for, generations, and as well as people that are coming to the area new. And the fact that those, I guess, different levels of experience get to cross over at our place is really cool because there's some level of education that comes to GBC and getting a beer. You know, you get to chat with the locals and the people that have been around for a while.
It's funny too because you know, anytime we're in there, it's weird because I spend a fair amount of time in Gloucester, and I know a lot of people up that way still. So having a conversation with a local Gloucester or Waterman or something like that is not off the radar for me. But it's also funny because you get a lot of folks that come down through Richmond or the Northern Neck who are traveling through. So then you also get a weird travel through community who's still somewhat familiar with this neck of the woods, but not quite as familiar as the regulars. So it's a weird, fun mix of people that you get through there.
Yeah. It's my dad referenced it as, or he said that he had heard it referenced as Gloucester's community center recently.
Oh, that's gold. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, that's solid.
Awesome.
Whoever said that, you should hire and put them on your social media.
Valid.
That's solid. All right, question 2.
That's checking right now.
Speaking of the building.
Oh, we went to slide 3.
Yeah, we went to the second question.
I know. I thought there was another one between this. Maybe not.
Would you like me to?
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
There's the other one.
Okay, that's the first one.
Yep.
Okay,
And
correct.
then the next one is this one.
That's the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I fucked up. All right.
No, I made the slides. I know what you made the trivia.
I know. I wrote the trivia. All right.
For the record, I didn't cheat. I just did this like an hour ago.
So the building that Gloucester Brewing occupies dates back to what decade? The 20s, the 30s, the 40s, or the 50s? This one's kind of a crapshoot if you're not familiar with the area, but I mean, 1 out of 4. You know, it's pretty easy. So we got A.
Let's see what they say.
Going with 30s.
B. You're just going with Katie?
Nope, I did not see Katie's
That makes
until you
sense.
just pulled it in.
Okay. Andy obviously went with Katie. He's got to
It's either-
lay next
it's
to her
either
in bed tonight.
30s or 40s, but I'm going to go with 30s.
Okay, fair. And B. So this one was interesting to me, Mike. And I'll let you give the answer, but I have some theories on it. So go ahead, give me the actual answer.
So the building was registered at some point in the 1920s.
Mhm.
Yep. So the original base of the building was built in the 1920s. It was expanded on in the future. I'm not personally.
Here's this asshole. Oh, here we go.
Curtis second and late. But the back part of the building where the bathrooms have been built up, we have our grain storage, you know, customer overflow, all that stuff in the back. That was added on. I'm not personally sure on the date of that expansion.
Yeah.
But the bones of the building originally was in the 1920s, and it used to be Yorktown Ice and Storage Corporation. Back when we were moving into the building and kind of like taking on the lease, starting to do the demolition, build out, all that stuff, my parents, Myron and Liz, their partners, they found receipts in the attic dating 1938 from Yorktown Ice and Storage Corporation. So we still have receipts from when that building was its original business.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool. So when I was reading through some of the history in the building, that was the funny one. And it was funny because I couldn't find the OG date of the building itself.
Yeah.
But I did find a lot of information through like Gloucester Gazette and other places of this 1930s receipts that float around this building. So I was like, well, is it the 30s or the 20s? And I did end up finding the actual, you know, ice company that had that building originally.
Yeah,
but
that was wild to me. I had no idea because growing up in Gloucester, you hear that building, that's the old Southern States. The
Southern States. That's right.
Yeah. So that's what it was before we moved into that building and put a brewery there. It was a small engine repair shop. People used to get their weed whackers and their leaf blowers and things like that to fix.
If you hadn't already, you need to frame those damn receipts.
Don't worry, the receipts are good to go.
I was gonna say either that or like a historical society.
They're in the National Archive.
The Gloucester Archive.
Yep.
We're very fortunate, and we we're all very grateful for the opportunity to just kind of continue the life of that building, something with a lot of rich history.
Yeah.
You know, the difference is instead of us giving ice to a bunch of people, we're just giving them ice cold beer.
So it's almost come full circle.
Yeah, it's full circle now. That's exactly what it is.
I'm for it.
I think people. I like beer more than I like ice. I don't know about the average person.
I think that's fair.
So that's half of the question.
But I like natty ice too. No. But I'm a rarity.
So we have 4 questions total. That was 2. Are we cracking this?
That's why I don't fucking remember. All right.
Was asking.
So if you watch the show with any regularity, you know we're 2 questions into 4 questions on trivia. I shortchanged trivia this week because I knew that Mike and I like to talk and we'd probably get on a tangent. So
astute observation.
Yeah, 100%. Experience has taught me. So at this point in trivia, we're going to go ahead and crack the beer that we're having tonight so that we can get a full round picture of it and drink it as we go through the rest of trivia. So it's not a blind taste test necessarily. We can get a full round picture of it.
Do you need me to pour this?
So tonight, again, we're doing a Kölman Kölsch. It's from Gloucester Brewing Company out of Gloucester, Virginia.
All their cans are actually this size.
Yeah, they only serve this size can, which it's weird to get a 6-pack of it, but again, I'm for it.
I'm honestly upset that you have like the last can in the state of Virginia right now.
You know what's funny is when I came to visit you and I was like, we're gonna do the Kolsch, let's get it. And then you canned it and you're like, I don't know how much of it we have left. I remember this being a conversation even then. And I was like, oh, and we're 2 weeks out. I may get the last can of this.
We ran out a few days after you got that can. It breaks my heart. Now I understand why my wife threatened to divorce me for not having that on.
This is comfortable. This makes good sense.
Man.
Awesome. All right.
Pilsner's a great option. Pilsner's a great option, but I do love me that Kolsch.
I think that's fair.
Same. Okay.
Great question.
All right. So Gloucester Brewing Company won a silver medal at the Virginia Craft Beer Cup for which beer? Their John Beer Cream Ale, the Rosewell Irish Red Ale, the Dead Rise Rye IPA, or the Low Ground Brown Ale?
Based on knowledge of submissions in various whatever cups or competitions,
okay,
I feel like red and brown would be like super impressive in the sense those are like the most. Not that the other one is not super impressive.
Okay,
but just in case that's not the answer. They're all delicious. I've had all of them. No, so that would be like I almost want to rule. I don't know. I feel like winning at a Virginia, like across the state of Virginia, might be hard because, like, beer is a big deal, let alone.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, so I also really love the John Beer name, so I kind of want to go with that one because it's a less common beer, and it's got a cool name. Not that Rosewell isn't like a cool spot.
I fucking love Rosewell, but
yeah,
the
Dead Rise, which is a play on the.
Nothing like trespassing at Rosewell.
It's my favorite. Partied a lot there.
It's not haunted.
This is an interesting question for me as well because, and as you saw, the answers are across the board all over the place. It's interesting to me because having had all of these beers, I think, especially in the Virginia world, any one of them could have won this medal.
Yeah, but I think the cream ale is my favorite out of all of them.
That's fair. So I know the answer, but I have a reason why I think it worked. So give me the answer first, Mike. Sorry.
All right. So Tiffany, you're pretty damn close. The John Beer actually made it to the final table or the medal round at GABF not too long ago.
That's awesome.
However, the Dead Rise is the very first beer that we ever won an award with, and that was at the 2019 Virginia Craft Beer Cup.
See, and that's another unusual style, like APA.
So that's my theory.
Ooh, that was a dyslexic.
Yeah.
IPAs are super popular, but when you can narrow it down to a more specific
When it's a
style
specific rye.
The rye is usually an unusual.
Yeah.
That is also a stellar beer. Again, I like all of those.
That's
beers.
actually one of my beers.
Yeah.
That's my go-to when I go there.
It adds a nice layer of unique complexity to it. The rye has a good balance of spicy yet sweet.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Fingers crossed for good feedback at World Beer Cup next month.
I imagine, and again, like historically on the show, as you know, we typically kick the brewery off when we try the beer because we review it, and it is there's like a really specific palate on which you can review beer and do it well.
Yeah.
And then there's a really subjective palate, which is the world we live in. So it's, it's like reviewing art at this point. Like the artist feels terrible, but we're like, well, I'm not paying $80 for that painting.
Valid. I don't have any real art. We have a couple pieces of real art.
Do we?
I think so.
Well, you can hear about that on our art history show. It happens every Friday.
My wife has the eye for that. I apparently don't know what I'm doing.
Is that cross stitch?
I've got this beer towel behind me.
What is that? Who made that?
So this was a gift from one of our patrons, a regular that moved away, and my wife and I house sat for them, took care of the dog, and he got me this really cool cross-stitch beer towel, and it talks about the history of beer and the different ingredients that go into it and the processes. I mean, without getting too into it, you kind of see the whole brew house process here, the cellaring here, different types of glasses for the different beer styles down here, history of Reinheitsgebot, and all that stuff.
That's awesome.
That's killer.
That's art to me. So
you ain't hurt my feelings.
I cross-stitched a cow with its tongue out, and it's framed in our hallway.
But that's why I'm in the back.
Yeah, right.
My wife's stuff is up in the front.
Yeah, mine's proudly displayed in the hallway.
I'm hoping that she lets me put some of my art up, but who knows? I might just have
Daniel
to.
has a singing fish that's never made it out of the garage.
I have a Billy the Bass. That's about as far as I'm going. Yeah, I can sell it for a lot currently.
Just saw that episode of The Sopranos.
Correct.
Oh,
I had a lot of art under my mattress back in high school. That's called pornography, Curtis, and well done. It's the only reason I know anything about this world is because I found your mattress stash.
Your mattress art?
Your mattress art.
That sounds terrible as well.
You and a very specific friend's dad also viewed pornography as art.
Yeah, mattress art might have a different connotation.
Yep. Under the mattress art, everyone knows.
All right, let's get into the last question here, which I thought was interesting because this is a common conversation on the show as to how people that get into the beer world and what they came from beforehand. So Mike, who we're chatting with here from Gloucester Brewery, has a bachelor's degree in what field? Accounting, engineering, history, or English?
We have had this conversation.
I knew you would think of that immediately. However, I mean, you've heard
this we talked about this at Curtis's birthday party at Coastal Fermentary.
And correct. I think you said it was English. So,
well,
oh fuck! Everyone else is saying other things.
They're all going to say different things. He is very well spoken. It could be English. I love it.
God, it's going to be engineering.
I don't. Your answer?
Mike, when we hang out, it's usually
beer driven.
Beer driven.
Yeah, just call it what it is.
So,
this is actually pretty funny. I'm loving the answers that I'm seeing so far.
Right? Everyone thinks you are as smart, intelligent as you are, sir. So why don't you tell us what your bachelor's degree is in?
So nobody got it right. I have a degree in accounting.
That is right. We did talk about that because you're like, yeah.
B is too obvious.
You're like, I don't want to be doing that.
Now, I originally, like when I graduated from high school, I went off to George Mason. I had no idea what I wanted to do, so I was just kind of doing the whole like college kid thing. And then I realized I wasn't doing well enough to not know what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Fair.
So I left George Mason, and my parents steered me on the right path, and I went through community college, and I got my associates in business administration, and then I actually got recruited to play college volleyball. So I was able to go to a small D2 school in North Carolina and get my degree in accounting there.
Very cool. And for those of us that have no perception through camera, how tall are you, Mike?
I'm just under 6'2", but
Volleyball. Yeah. Nobody gave me a sponsorship for volleyball, so
I'm actually one of the short guys on the team that I currently play with.
Oh, you're a setter. I don't know what that means.
No,
I assume
that's tall
that's.
people in the back.
Oh, really?
You want tall people in the front so they can spike it and block.
I was trying to make.
Or
a sexual joke, but yeah, all right.
I jump pretty high.
I'm not a jumper. I want Phil to rewatch this so he can make 8 shirts of the dumb shit I've said already.
Correct.
In fairness, before this show, we were at 1700 because I had a little bit of stuff to catch up on, and I had their new Doppelbock. Yeah, I had their Doppelbock, which is a 9.3%. So.
Well, she had like a 5 or 12.
I had a 12-ounce pour of it.
Yeah.
Billy loves making the big beers.
He does.
I know. They're so delicious and they don't taste layered at all. So anyway, I started the day off, or tonight off pretty strong.
That's fair.
Really smaller on TV.
I get that a lot.
That is
So Andrew's been to my OnlyFans. All right.
It's just my TV.
Was that our last question?
Yeah.
Yeah, jackpot.
Yeah,
all right, good. Let's talk about this beer.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
I do want to talk about this beer because I feel like y'all's like actual German style beers stay pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not the first time you've brewed the Kolsch, obviously. It has been around for a little while, and it makes different iterations, I assume. But this is the most recent one. Tell me about the grain bill. Tell me, where the Kolsch moniker comes from.
So the Kolsch style is it's essentially a bastard style, according to German lager standards. This is a hybrid style using ale yeast, which can potentially yield a little bit more fermentation character, some more ester development throughout the fermentation, but fermented at cooler temperatures, so it can potentially be a little bit more subdued. I wanted to brew something like that for our market because it's not Bud Light. It's something that can have a little bit more complexity to it. It's something that can have a little bit more of a well-rounded flavor profile versus just it tastes like rice and corn and water.
Right.
But this is sentimental to me because it's the first recipe that I ever created from scratch.
Nice.
So back in 2019, I did a lot of research on it. Ended up getting to the point where I thought it would be good. Brewed it. It was pretty good. It has definitely gone through some evolution. And the last, I would say, 3 batches that have been brewed, it's been 100% German malt. So classic, can't go wrong with Wyerman malt. So I did 100% Wyerman malt, dealing with managing mash pH and manipulating the water chemistry to get everything right. And finally got it to a point where it's like, this is worthy. I've put it up in a couple of competitions, and it's gotten some feedback from judges that said that it's too clean. It doesn't have enough fermentation character.
Too clean is not a problem.
No.
And so that's what they knock the beer for, is it's
correct.
Too clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, It's only gaining points for being too clean in my world.
Right,
But again,
like I like Kolsch's to be more lagery
Correct.
than ale-y.
ew.
Less
Yeah.
sulfuric.
Yeah.
You don't want that sulfuric flavor lingering.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I saw Dante's Peak. I'm not interested in the sulfuric aspect.
Okay. No, but that's a very interesting critique. And
So shout out to the cask guys.
Oh,
They brought this dude that taught, like, he gave a lecture at GBC back in February talking about the origin of lager yeast. And, you know, he tasted our Schwarzbier and had some great feedback for that. And then he tasted the Kolsch and he goes, now this is a Kolsch.
yeah, nice.
And it's like, okay, if somebody who's from Germany is saying something like that, then who gives a shit about what these judges are saying?
This is
Right.
always the conversation we have in this line of work, and we touched on it a little bit, earlier before the show, and even in the beginning of the show.
it's always subjective.
It's so subjective. You can have the greatest palate in the history of the world.
Oh, yeah.
If you ate something beforehand and it fucked your palate up, all of a sudden it's extremely subjective, and there's no rules anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's with wine, you know, you can be at this beautiful, extravagant restaurant, you know, everything's ambient lighting, and you drink this wine in that setting versus drinking it at home. It's going to taste different in both settings.
100%. Especially when you go back to your trailer. The restaurant was real nice at that point, wasn't it? Lighting was bright, toilet flushed.
This don't taste boxed.
Correct answer, sir. Now, I think it's funny within the beer world in general anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's funny to have a conversation of actual subjective beer taste, because it's very similar to what you just said of when you're in a nice restaurant and you have a bottle of wine, it tastes different than being at home and having that same bottle of wine. Every beer tastes different being in a venue with people you enjoy, a place you like, a place you're familiar with. Like, that changes the perception of the beer a little bit as well.
Well, I mean, draft to can is also
100%. Yeah.
slightly different. So, in the same sense of you're having I assume at the restaurant you're having, a glass of wine or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely me. I'm a having
drive,
a glass.
Right? But I don't know. You're not like necessarily ending it.
bottle's a glass.
Correct.
Oh, it depends on what glass
comes in glass.
No, but like, if you're drinking a full bottle, you're gonna have like, if you didn't, like, it's like old, you didn't store it correctly, you've got like tannins and stuff in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
See, like, I know things about wine too.
I don't know what the hell we're talking about anymore. That's going to be on our wine podcast. It's next Wednesday, every Wednesday at 7 a.m.
It's the best time.
It's the best time to have wine.
All
right, Mike.
I need to not brew on Wednesdays.
Yeah, true story. So what? Tell me what the brewery's got coming up. What do you guys have like in the next couple months? Is there anything y'all are excited about? Any big beers you got coming out? What's going on?
Oh yeah, so we're actually looking forward to this summer. We have a lot of events that are happening locally with various organizations. A couple that I am personally excited for, are the invitationals at other local breweries. We are participating in the Pilsner Invitational at Billsburg.
This weekend? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so we'll be there. We got the Ordinary Pilsner making a debut, or I guess it's coming back. But we also love to participate in the Oktoberfest Invitational at Billsburg later on in the fall.
Yeah,
there are
for all those sorts of things.
We're actually doing a luau again. So we tried our hand at that last year. So we're doing a luau this June. I believe it's the weekend of the 17th. We'll have some actual hula dancers coming out to the brewery and doing some shows.
Jackpot.
That is cool.
Amazing food truck is going to be out there. Last year they did a whole ass pig.
Nice. That's one of my favorites about Gloucester, because if you're not from that area and you get a full pig served and you're cutting your own portion off of it, that's a different animal if you're not familiar with that.
Different than chicken.
So It's going to be a really cool event. Gumbo's Catering is going to be the food truck out at that event. You know, they always do phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
June 17th, you say?
Yeah.
I believe that's the weekend that we're going to have.
I love it. Well, listen, Mike, we're going to review this beer, which means we're going to kick you off for a minute.
You're welcome to stay.
We have another segment later, so if you're still in the waiting room, you might get dragged back in against your will. But
hey, you guys got me for the evening. I learned to get down.
I love it. Well, Mike, honestly, thank you so much for stopping by. Just in case you do have to dip out, I want to say goodbye face to face, like an adult or a lover would. Or just an adult. Just an adult is fine. But thank you so much for spending your time with us tonight. I know you're a busy guy. I know you got a family. Honestly, appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, we're going to go shit on your beer now. We'll see you in there.
Stop it.
Don't shit in it.
Oh, no.
All right. You need to do stuff, don't you?
Yeah, you should minimize this screen.
No, I got it over here.
It's just going to come up over here.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Yeah. Well, so
What do you need?
there's a screen over here.
Nope.
There's
do you need
one back here.
You know, because we're going to do a review.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Please. I got
So,
this.
bitch, please. So, if you're familiar with the show, this is the portion where we're going to actually review the beer we just had.
Yes.
So we do all of our reviewing through Untapped. So if you go the About section, you can follow our show Untapped, our personal Untapped, figure out what we thought or liked about any beer we've ever had in the history of our lives. Tonight we are reviewing a beer from Gloucester Brewing Company. This is their Kölman Kölsch, and they are out of Gloucester, Virginia.
They are.
True story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free to rewind if you got here for some reason.
Yeah. Good Lord.
A lot of trivia. A lot of cool
lot
stuff.
of trivia.
Yeah. Learn some cool. You taking the rest of that. Okay.
I'll start with this one. I'll give you an easy way out while you keep filling time for some reason.
Oh, no, I just wasn't sure. You just took the rest of it. And that's fine. So
it's a small can.
Okay. I love this beer.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm sad that you just took the rest of it. But no, so we kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier. That in my personal opinion, Kolsch should be more of a lager style, which means they're going to be cleaner. They're going to be a little bit more crisp-ish. Yeah. And kind of, I don't know, they have like a sweet, salty, malty like flavor profile that, and it's bready. God, I don't know. Anyway,
sweet, salty, malty.
This is exactly what a Kolsch is. Like, in my obviously very professional opinion, this is exactly what I would like. When Kolsch's aren't like this, then I'm like, not so much. But no, this one is definitely a Kolsch, and because of my rating scale, which is Kolsch I'm never gonna. Well, yeah. So I only compare styles when I rate, to at least make it fair. If I don't like the beer, I either won't rate it, or because I don't want to like mess up everyone's like scales on things, because again, it's subjective. But yeah, if I don't like the style, like probably not going to order it or check it. So I'm not the like don't like IPAs. 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
Like
yeah. Why'd you order an IPA then?
So anyway, I am delaying, but this is a Kolsch, and so anything over a 3 is I will drink again. Anything over a 4 is you are either nearing perfect of that style, in my opinion, or you are perfect. And so with that, this is exactly what a Kolsch is. So I'm giving it a 5, which is crazy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're nuts.
Yeah.
You're nuts.
I'm feeling wild.
You wait till my review, because this is outrageous.
What are you doing minimizing everything?
I got a lot of shit going on right now.
What?
I'm going to give my review, and then I need to put the score up. So
You could
just
do it
prepping.
on this side.
Yeah, I like the small screen. It bodes well for me. It's familiar.
Where did we put the, can we put up our little titles?
What titles? We have titles?
Yeah. You keep going. You do your review. I got you.
I'll keep going. What are you doing?
Man. No, you go.
You make me nervous when
No.
you're scrolling the thing. All right. No, I agree with Tiffany a lot in this situation of.
Oh, that's not currently finding.
It's a solid beer. When you think about a Kolsch, it hits all the right points. I think there's, I don't know what it is, but I think there's like one back end somewhere missing for me. I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to put my finger on it, which makes me an idiot. But I think there's, it almost has a little, I may not have Saison before this, which might fuck it up. God damn it. I hate everything about life.
What is it? Is it what are you too salty? I mean, is the beer too salty? Not you.
No, not salty. I almost get a weird sweet like flavor profile out of the back end of it.
Yeah. That's the malts usually.
Yeah, but
and the sugar from the yeast.
I don't know. I'm gonna do some research. But historically I like this beer. And again, from a Kolsch standpoint, it does hit almost every single point that makes a Kolsch a Kolsch. So like we talk about on this show with some regularity, individual taste are one thing, what style you like are one thing, this is one thing. But when you're comparing a Kolsch to a Kolsch, it's a great Kolsch. Like we drink this with some regularity every time it's around because it's a good Kolsch. So that's a 4.25 for me. There's a 3/4 missing something that I won't. I check our blog. Maybe I'll figure it out.
Could you maybe move up
months.
to like 4.5?
No. I'd like to keep that at a 4.25 because
okay. I just
I'm
need
a
to now do
human
the
being.
math.
Yeah.
So it's either are you more important or am I?
Oh,
so
well, obviously dress. Oh,
math this way.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, we just met in the middle.
Well, sort of. This would have been the middle if you had picked 4.5.
Let's hold on. Hey, Mike, you're an accountant. So if Tiffany put a 5 and I put a 4.25, what's the mean average between those?
5.25.
Nah, I don't think that's. We don't even have a thing for that. That seems fucking trash. Hold on.
4.75.
4.75 it is. I love you. Someone's gonna correct us in a minute, but
No, it's going to be between 4.5 and 4.75. That is where the average is.
Okay.
It's a matter of do we go down, we round down or round up. That's what I was getting at. Who has
understood. Yeah, obviously you hold all the power. There's no doubt about that. Do we have any Untapped reviews?
We do.
That in there?
So our other favorite part is after we have looked at the beer to now critique other people's reviews.
So this is my favorite section because we do use Untapped to review these beers. So it's fun to go on Untapped and find people, and it's even more fun when it's our local community because we probably know everyone who's checked this beer.
Pretty much. So
pretty much.
For those of you who follow our show diligently and watch it every week, 1, thank you.
100%.
2, Tuan was the brewer that we had on last week. He works at 1700 and is also the owner of Brew and Bottle, which is a home brewing shop near us. So he was at Gloucester Brewing in February of last year, which means multiple iterations ago. And I know Mike had mentioned that, this has been a work in progress. Yeah. So it's only gotten better since this review. So
Twan gave it a 5. He says, classic Kolsch, just like Pam from SNL. But I would like to point something out, as I do on every Untapped, even if it's somebody I know.
He's focused on the wood behind him.
No, it's not even that. The picture I could care less about. Earned the Respect the Kolsch Level 2 badge. So
hold on, this is over a year ago. I think it came out
in February of 2022. Twan has had 10 Kolsches in his entire Untapped career.
I don't know when he started his Untapped.
I gotta give him some shit. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
Next review.
Next.
All right. So I actually picked this one because I wanted to show that Gloucester has a mug club.
Yep.
And these are the mugs, and they are super cool looking. But she also spelled mug mig, so I had to just point that out.
First mig club.
Because
that's a racial slur, ma'am.
Well, no, it's a fighter. It's a fighter. Like a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I just found that interesting. However, she has level 70 for independent.
I was gonna say she drinks beer.
So Amy, I apologize for making fun of your spelling. Love your mug. All right, so Christopher
this is actually-
Davis.
again,
Yeah.
we know everyone in these
We
reviews.
do. So I picked it because when we knew him, and it was one of the few photos that was like, usually it's just a beer that you can't make fun of or anything.
Correct.
So I can't really make fun of this photo.
I can.
Okay.
I got time.
Okay. Well, anyway, so he had just gone for a beer or a run, so a beer was perfect. And he said crisp, light, cold, and delicious. So sounds accurate.
Which is very accurate for a Kolsch.
Yeah.
Yep. I just did something. I need a light beer, just like Mike hit on earlier. He's like, it's not Bud Light. It's great for our demographic.
Yeah.
Better flavor profile, better everything, but still light and easy.
So this is my favorite.
I do love a good negative review.
It is my favorite because literally this is probably the only bad review that is under a 3.2. You
gotta show one though.
So when this boss, the boss has a cat that's singing or yelling, maybe yawning, but that seems too normal. He also has only had 15 Kolsches.
Correct.
Or at least that he's checked in.
Correct.
And based on,
and he also covered the fucking.
Well, I was gonna say, based on what
beer.
he's got here, I mean, he's got what they're like a.
He has
one
the
of those
stout.
stouts.
He has the Dead Rise. He has the Kolsch
hazy.
and the hazy, and he probably drank them ass backwards. And he was like, "Well, this Kolsch has no flavor.
Tastes like sewer water.
Tastes like sewer water."
Also, how do you know what sewer water tastes like? That's actually question 1.
Question 2: how do you know what sewer water tastes like?
Boss libas. Anyway,
I love it.
Yeah. So that's all.
Again, follow us on Untapped so you can see what we think about everyone's beer / everyone else that drinks beer that we make fun of with some occasion. But other than that, we got we're running a little long. I know this is a shocker.
Sorry.
We have one more segment,
Scroll up.
and it.
Now Patrick McGinty, an Irishman of note, fell in for a fortune and he bought.
Sorry, that's the wrong segment.
You pushed me.
I pushed the wrong button.
You pushed me.
And that's on me. Let's do what we wish was actually good. Where did it play?
It can play here.
Did anyone see that?
Yeah, it happened.
Okay.
Okay. So for those of you who are not familiar with the show, this is the portion of the show aptly named what we wish was actually beer. So this is anything from the last hour watching our show,
Life in
potentially
general.
today, the week, whatever. And it's a moment to talk about something that you wish would have been beer, because it would have made the experience different, in a theory, more pleasurable.
All right, good. We got our first roller.
Perfect. So I wish Daniel's OnlyFans were beer because I'd feel less guilty about spending money on it.
Money.
I wish sugar-free chocolate pudding was beer. Clears across the table.
Y'all can argue
Andrew.
about that shit all you want.
Andrew,
All right.
bad choice, man.
What about you? You got a wish for beer?
Yes. Yes. Okay.
That's very convincing.
I wish idiots were beer, because if they were, I would have a beer and maybe have to still put up with them, but at least if I had a beer.
Boy, I lost you on that one.
No. If the idiots were beer, I'd
Okay.
have a beer and I wouldn't have to deal with them.
So
Or
you're
if I
talking about
had,
me. That's fair.
I
Okay.
said within the last hour,
Wow.
week, month. This
Wow.
could be someone unrelated.
Wow. All right. Mine's really easy, but I'm going to let Mike do his next because he's still down here. Mike, what do you wish was beer?
All the damn holes in my backyard that my dog digs.
That is a dangerous.
Because then you'd have X.
I would never run out of beer.
Gold.
That little
God, that's
bastard.
good. You've been thinking about that shit all week. Tiffany just winged hers, and you came prepared. I like that about you, sir.
I thought about it after watching Twan's episode today.
So I had a better one at some point. And
I love it.
I didn't come up with one.
All right,
What's
Mike,
yours?
I'm going to do mine. We're going to wrap it up here shortly, but I want to say thank you to you again.
Yes, thank you.
Honestly, thank you for stopping by. Thanks, Gloucester Brewery, for supplying the Kolsch that we had. And Thank you for creating an argument on what the rating should be, but that's fine. That's what the show is about. So,
I'm not biased.
Mike, cheers. I know where to find you. I look forward to seeing you again soon, bud.
Hey, cheers. Thank
Cheers.
you.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, man. All right, my wishy beer is very easy. I wish bruises were beer because I typically know where my beer comes from.
Do you?
Yeah, I wake up every morning with a new bruise, and I'm not sure if it's work or you just been beating the shit out of me in my sleep.
I do move when sleeping.
Yeah, you are a fighter in your sleep. Like,
Gotta get a motherfucker off.
so no, I wish bruises were beer because at least I know where my beer comes from. Typically, when I buy it. That being said, we're gonna do another beer next week.
We are.
We don't know what it is yet.
It's there. I could grab it.
Yeah. So no, keep in
okay.
mind if you follow us on Instagram or on our YouTube channel, we put out a promo every week for the upcoming episodes. So please hang out with us every week online, on YouTube, on the internet, on the TikToks. God, I hate it. I hate this shit so much.
Okay.
I mean, I love the show, but the prep work and the please follow us crap is.
I mean, you do it really well.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. Hey, make sure you follow, like, subscribe. I'd love to see you out there. We're going to make content every week just for you, the beer follower. How'd I do?
So tune in next
How'd I do?
at 8 p.m. Eastern.
You going to click the button to
Yeah.
take us out?
I can. Was that it? Was that
Yeah,
the
that
end?
was it. That was my whole thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Well, maybe we
Have
got
a good one.
No, you
What?
got to hit the ending
Oh,
right here.
ending. Okay.
Well,
bye,
later.
everybody.